Biden's aides scared of triggering him while inner circle scrambles to hide his mental decline. It's really sad though what's going on, what we're witnessing here. We've been saying for years that Biden was incompetent and didn't have all his mental faculty. Anyone that was paying attention, like I always say, if you were looking at him objectively instead of listening to the mainstream propaganda, you wouldn't have been shocked during the debates. That's why during the debates, I was not shocked at all. He looked like normal Biden to me. But to people who have had their heads in the sand and listening to mainstream media, the debate was a total shock to them. And now they're living with the repercussions, and they're trying to hide Biden. He has an interview coming up with George Stephanopoulos. We know that it's going to be heavily edited. It's not going to be live. They're going to make sure that everything is good to put him in a positive light, of course. But you can't fake this. They can't amp him up. His heart is probably not in great shape where they can give him any amphetamines or anything to jack him up, any type of stimulant, because it would possibly hurt him. So maybe that's what happened during the debate. They had planned and this is just me throwing it out there. You know, I have no proof of this, so I'm not saying that this is exactly true. But maybe they was going to jack him up with some type of stimulant or something to help him out. And the doctor was like, nah, it's a no-go. We can't give him this because it would possibly harm him. And so he was out there during the debate without his amphetamines or stimulants or whatever they normally give them to wake him up. They couldn't give it to him. So that's what I think happened. Again, I got no proof of this. I'm not saying that this is necessarily true, but it could be a possibility. But we're going to talk a little bit about Biden and his team. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. All right, so let's talk about this news. Now, this comes from Slate News' Nick R. Hamilton. And he reports that new insider reports are emerging that paint a picture of sheer panic and desperation in the Democrat President Joe Biden's inner circle. Biden trusts only his top handlers, who have been scrambling to hide his mental decline from the American people, Breitbart reported. Those lower in the chain of command are increasingly, quote, scared S-less of triggering the volatile 81-year-old. Now, I don't know if any of y'all ever dealt with someone that is starting to lose them. That's going into mental decline. They become angry, irate a lot. There's a lot of irritation, frustration because they can't really get out some of their thoughts sometimes, and it's a terrible thing to watch. And so people around him are seeing that and trying to keep distance from the president as well. But the unflattering information comes from a leak within the Biden White House to Politico. The leaks are increasingly flowing in the wake of Biden's humiliating debate showing last week. Democrats claim to be shell-shocked after supposedly realizing the truth of Biden's cognitive decline. Since the debate, Democrats and their corporate media allies have suggested that Biden's degraded health has been actively hidden from them. However, Biden's struggle are hardly a surprise to anyone who's been paying attention. That's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying. If you've been paying attention, none of this is new, is shocking to us. This is not new stuff to us. But meanwhile, his advisors are forced to tread lightly in briefings. Quote, he said, quote, it's like you can't include that. That will set him off, or put that in. He's like that, a senior official admitted. It's a Rorschach test, not a briefing. Wow. Because he is not a pleasant person to be around when he's being briefed. It's very difficult, and people are scared S-less of him, the unnamed official added. Biden's world has become smaller as it becomes evident that he can no longer function enough to campaign effectively. Quote, he doesn't take advice from anyone other than those few top aides, and it becomes a perfect storm because he just gets more and more isolated from their efforts to control it, a senior official noted. The debate against President Donald Trump last Thursday was on Biden's terms. It was supposed to quell the fears of voters who worried about the president's mental fitness. Instead, it served as a stark comparison between the two as Biden struggled to string together his thoughts. Now that America has seen exactly how far gone Biden is, the finger pointing has begun. Members of the Biden family blame top campaign brass for his woes, including former Chief of Staff Ron Klain. Klain helped to prepare Biden for the debate at Camp David. Senior advisor Anita Dunn, who pushed to have the debate before the parties' respective conventions, has also come under fire. John Morgan, a mega donor to the Democrats, blamed the cabal in the inner circle, including Klain and Dunn, for this debacle. Quote, "The whole planning preparation was political malpractice," Morgan said in an interview. I think he has a misplaced trust in these three people, and I believe he has from the inception. He added, "Many believe that these people, especially those who are closest to Biden in his daily routine, should have seen this coming. Democrats are blaming the tightly closed circle for allowing Biden to deteriorate away from the public eye, only for the truth to be on full display during the debate." Quote, "The fact is there wasn't an open dialogue about whether he should run except for the people who would benefit from him running," one operative noted. They were working under the false premise, quote, that this was going to be about Trump, not about Biden, and at the end of the day, people just wouldn't vote for Trump, the unnamed source close to the campaign added. But here we are, we're sitting in July, and the race is about Biden, and it's about a trait you can't fix. And people are paying attention now. So any mistake going to be pointed out now. That's why they're hiding Biden again, like it's the 2020 pandemic all over again. But another donor close to the situation believed, quote, "We've all enabled the situation. However, First Lady Jill Biden is arguably the worst enabler of all." Someone need to call need to call elder abuse on Jill Biden. I wonder, would it actually be an investigation if someone would do that? I wonder. But sounded very much like an elementary school teacher to a kindergartner in need of encouragement. She famously congratulated her husband after he answered every question in the debate, Fox News reported. We all seen that clip. It was sad seeing that. But she continues to pull him around by the wrist and prop him up to Democrat donors despite his obvious challenges. There's no hiding Biden's mental state any longer from voters. He is age-addled, confused, and unfit to serve, and there's nothing his inner circle can do to hide that anymore. And the other problem that the Democrats have is they can't replace him because because of what they did during the primaries. They didn't give people a chance to vote during the primaries because they were afraid of RFK Jr. They pretty much just gave it to Biden, and now they're stuck with him. Only thing they can do is hope that Biden step down, and then what you do is you have to install Kamala Harris, because if you skip over Kamala Harris, you're going to be pissing off the people that play the identity politics games within that party. And this is the bed they made. Now they have to lay in it. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.